Hey, happy holidays. Can I come in? I know you don't want to talk right now, and that's okay. You absolutely don't have to. I thought maybe you'd like some company and a distraction. I brought my holiday shortbread cookies hot off the tray, but I can go if. Okay. It was a beautiful service. Your dad looked proud that he managed to pull it all together so quick. You should be proud. He's been a wreck today, and he organized such a great funeral. The speeches were incredible too, yours especially. How are you feeling? Physically, I mean. I know you're an emotional mess right now. Of course I'd know. Granted, I'm not you, so my experience is automatically going to be different from yours, but I've been where you are. Yeah, I lost my dad recently myself, remember? This is my first holiday without him, too. I had to accept that there was nothing I could do about it, and that I would only hurt everyone around me, including myself, by giving in to that urge to just wallow in my grief for more than 2 days straight. I also accepted that some days were just gonna suck, regardless of how good it went, and that my moods were gonna change wildly because of it. I just had to ride it all out. Because, like life, these moods are temporary. But we're here for longer than those moods. So we have to do what it takes to piece ourselves back together and try to carry on. But around the holidays, it's going to hurt a lot more because the memories are fresh and it's family related. Yeah, anger is valid. So are tears, so is numbness, even happiness. Sure, there isn't a wrong way to feel when you're going through this process. One day you can be perfectly fine, and the next, you're a wreck. You need to let yourself feel all of it. It'll hurt, it'll suck, and you will hate every second. But feeling it as it comes is better than repressing everything to feel all at once later. That shit's overwhelming and debilitating, and you won't have any control when it explodes. Yeah, asking all those what ifs, that's normal too. But it'll make you crazy if you keep running through those scenarios in your head. Well, I mean, for one thing, can you change what happened? I know you wish you could, but you actually can't, right? I'm sorry, I don't mean to sound insensitive. Yeah. People tiptoeing around you when you're grieving, you know that they mean well and you don't want to be annoyed with them, but it does get annoying after a while, especially for people like us. People who prefer things straightforward and simple so that we can get shit done. Am I still feeling everything? Like it happened yesterday. I'll never forget when we got the news. Well, in my case, we were already waiting for news. My dad had a heart attack the day before, but he was aware he was having it, and he got my siblings to drive him to the hospital. They put a stent in him that day, and he was just going to be monitored for the rest of the day or so before they sent him home. Yeah, we weren't worried. I mean, it was a super, yeah, it's a super common procedure now. Most people can get a stent put in during the morning and walk out right as visiting hours close. Well, he'd been feeling uncomfortable since the surgery, and all the tests they did didn't show anything. They thought it was just a post surgery healing thing. But then he collapsed and they had to take him to surgery. But no matter what they did, he never woke up again. I'm sorry, you're the one that just had someone die. I should be comforting you. We can comfort each other, huh? Sounds good. Wait, here, let me shift. Okay, come here. Yes, here. Just lie back with your back to my chest. Yeah, I'm gonna hold you. Only if you want to, though. Why? Because you need to be held, and I need to hold you. So come on, and bring that blanket with you. We'll put it over us both, and then we can gorge on cookies. Ah, there we go. See? Cozy, right? Yeah, of course I can play with your hair. Snuggle back a little more? Perfect. What went wrong? I'd like to say it was someone's fault, anyone's, but truthfully, it was a 1 in a million chance that it could have happened, and my father was that one. His heart just ruptured and they couldn't stop the bleeding, nor could they have prevented it. There was just no way to know. Yeah, it fucking sucks. No, 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 don't do that. We're not in the trauma or grief Olympics. We don't have to compare or compete like the right to being emotional is a limited resource. We can both be upset and grieving. Reason. You don't need this to have happened for a reason. It happened because life happens. And so does death. Death is the only inevitability for living creatures. It sucks every time for the people surrounding the dead person. It feels like it'll never make sense. And maybe it will, maybe it won't. But trying to make sense of it while it's fresh is never going to lead to anywhere good. Of course, I miss him. My father, he was one of the best people I ever knew. I worshipped him. He was the smartest man in my life. Smartest person in my life. Anything I ever wanted to know about anything short of Google, I asked my father. He just knew how to get shit done, and if he didn't know, he'd learn and then teach the rest of us. He was kind of anxious, so he was always prepared for everything. He was so organized that he could be halfway around the world and direct you to find something in his closet with precise instructions and be correct every time. He drew Flintstones cartoons left-handed, even though he was a righty because he broke his wrist in university and learned how to draw them while he was figuring out how to write left-handed. Since, no laptop computers back then. He was always busy, but he never failed to make time for me. He loved to learn and he studied and watched documentaries and YouTube tutorials like he was starving for them and needed more. If there was anyone in my life who embodied that Hamilton quote, "Why do you write like you're running out of time?" it would be my father. He never did anything dangerous, not even playing with stocks, unless it was an activity with his family. Paragliding, bungee jumping, go karting. He did that all for us. And he was a massive nerd. He could talk about Star Wars as easily as Star Trek. He loved classic horror movies and astronomy documentaries. He was an engineer, but he wanted to be a professor because he believed that a legacy was in the people you impacted after you've died, not the physical things you created. He was one of the most nurturing men in my life growing up. And it was so clear that he held the love of his family over societal norms of what a family like ours should look and behave like. He would have moved mountains for our success and happiness. He celebrated Christmas with us every year, even though we weren't Christian, because he never wanted us to feel left out when we showed up to school and everyone talked about their Christmas gifts. He's the one who taught me how to decorate my cookies so they didn't look obscene when I gave them to people. I loved him so much. I've never God, I've never been so grateful for our family policy of saying I love you every time we leave the house, end a conversation, and go to bed. Because without it, I would have been so much more heartbroken. Because I would have had to live my whole life wondering if my father knew that I loved him. I mean, I've had my issues with my dad, of course. Who the fuck doesn't have at least a couple? But he was my father, and I loved him so much. Good. That's really good. I'm glad you got to tell them how much they meant to you. Lots of people never get that chance. I don't know if he knew how much I admired him. I hope so. I put together a video for his 60th birthday a few months before he died. It had so many photos from his childhood all the way to this year, and I actually put in a voiceover where I talked about how much I looked up to him. I wasn't there to see his reaction, but I was told he loved it, so, you know. You wrote them a song and performed it for them? Sweetheart, that's incredible. Have you recorded it? No, we don't have to listen to it now. We can do that when we're both feeling better. Hmm? Well, a little. I guess it's true what they say. Trouble shared is trouble halved. Mm, thank you for telling me all this. And for letting me vent about my dad, too. It's so hard when we lose someone we love and look up to so much. Someone who's always been there. Hmm? Oh, they're still downstairs. I mean, they did send me here to check up on you. And they did imply that I should bring you back downstairs, but they didn't say it outright. So I think we could stay here for as long as you need. They've got a couple of people with them right now. Actually, lots of people with them. They're fine. You need to look after yourself too. And if that means you need to sit here with me in the dark as we watch the stars outside, then that's exactly what we're going to do. Of course we are. I know how much you love stargazing, so do I. Because it's always made you feel as though there's something out there in the universe that's bigger than anything happening here. Because if you can see them, it means you're not in the big city, which means fresher air and being one with nature, and all of those things make you feel calm and serene. And seeing that look on your face it's ethereal. Well, everything you do is beautiful to me because you're one of the most wonderful people I know. And I know that they were so proud of you. They never shut up about how much you've grown and changed into this incredible person. Yeah, you meant the world to them too. So please, never doubt that they loved you so damn much. I love you too. Now, why don't we watch the stars and polish off these cookies? We've got nowhere to go, and we could stand to have some peace from everything. That's it, honey. Just snuggle back in my arms. I got you. And even though life sucks right now, it won't forever. It just takes time. We'll get there. It'll never be normal again, but we'll get to a new normal. I am always going to be here for you. You too, huh? Good. Now come on. Those cookies have a shelf life. Yes, I know I made them rather than buy them off of a shelf in the store. I'm the one who did the baking. Mm, you're going to be just fine.